Evening to everybody. I am thankful to Professor Shaw and the organizers for giving me this opportunity to speak to you and share a few ideas about these concepts of self. Well, our dear Swami Sarvapriyanandaji has done a very good job. He has covered the most difficult part of this concept. And as he has said, this is a big subject because it places itself against all the dualistic philosophies. Excepting non-dual Vedanta, all the philosophies are dualistic. Therefore, it has to answer questions of those philosophies. There are books like Sahasra Dusini, like so many defects they could find out in this philosophy. So it has to establish itself, and it is a program for 5 years and lifelong also studies. So to squeeze those ideas within the space of some 30 minutes is really difficult, but he has shown a very nice way of explaining it. My duty would be just to give a few ideas, explain or interpret a few words which would be good for us to know, to understand non-dual Vedanta. Vedanta means, generally speaking, nowadays Vedanta means they say non-dual Vedanta. Actually, Vedanta includes all other dual philosophies also. And in Sanskrit, the word philosophy has an equivalent word that is known as darshana. Darshana is actually experiencing. So the philosophies have come later on to relate the experiences of these people to our position. Like if I give you an example that suppose somebody is standing on the 10th floor and communicating his experience to people who are standing on the ground, and saying how he could climb or she could climb up to that 10th floor. These are experiences of that person who is there on the 10th floor, and for us, these are information. So how do we relate that position to my position? And that is the work of the philosopher. So philosophy is not exact translation of this word darshana. Experience came first, then philosophers could relate those experiences to our position. And there are two words in English. One is called monism, another is non-dualism. So they seem to be synonyms so far as we understand. But they have a little bit difference in them, technical difference. Suppose I have an apple, so if you ask me how many apples do you have, I would say 1 apple. Don't you have 2? Then I would say no, I don't have 2. Non-dual. Now I cut this apple into 10 pieces. Then how many pieces do you get? 10. So, but at the same time, we can say that these are the 10 pieces, these 10 pieces are pieces of one and the same apple. This is monistic. So, one non-dual position is a little bit higher than the monistic position. This we should try to understand, then things will be clear. Vedanta does not say that all are Brahman. Rather, it says there is nothing but Brahman. Nothing but Brahman. This is the position, non-dual position. Now, this what the Swamiji has explained, that oneness, and this is very high-sounding philosophy. It is very difficult to relate it to our day-to-day life. And very plainly speaking, there is no place for secular ideas in this. Everything becomes sacred. Then how to relate this experience of that person who is standing on the 10th floor to our day-to-day life. In what way? We want to attain that height. Then only it can be related. They say that all roads lead to Rome, but provided Rome is our destination. Otherwise, roads are leading to anywhere. This is the problem. One of our great Swamis, Swami Yatiswarananda, used to tell his devotees, when somebody comes to him and wants to know about meditation, learn meditation, he would say, first try to find out where is the point of your awareness. This is a very, very practical and serious thing to deal with. Now I will give you a nice example. Sri Ramakrishna says that when I was meditating, I discovered that my mind was in Rasik's house. There was a sweeper in the garden house of Dakshineshwar. His name was Rasik. And this poor man, he wanted to get realization, and he knew that Sri Ramakrishna was the savior. Therefore, he used to pray to Sri Ramakrishna for his blessings. Now Sri Ramakrishna acknowledges the fact that when he was meditating, his mind went to Rasik's house. Well, it gives us a great, great joy when we hear that. Yes, it gives a sanction. When we sit in meditation, we see that our mind goes to supermarket, Wellington, everywhere. Therefore, here is an authority who himself says, Sri Ramakrishna says, that when he was meditating, his mind went to Rasik's house. Then what is the problem with our mind? It can go to a supermarket. This is perfectly all right. But then this is a problem. Where is the point of our awareness? Now look at this fact that Sri Ramakrishna's mind went to Rasik's house to save him, because he was the savior. And when our mind goes to supermarket, for what purpose? So when we are meditating, just let us find out what is the practical thing happening. I see that my mind has gone to a place where they are meditating, or to a temple, to a church, to a mosque. My mind has gone. And sometimes I see that my mind has gone to supermarket. Now, when I see that my mind has gone to a church or to a temple, that is the point of my awareness. This is the truth. The mind can go anywhere, there is no problem. But if it goes to the temple, that is the level of my awareness. If it goes to supermarket, that is the level of my awareness. This is the truth. So we have a check. We can find out where is the level of our consciousness. So we have to relate our level of consciousness to the absolute consciousness. So how to do that? He has given a very beautiful explanation. And as we know, Dr. Shaw has already said that this is a way of knowledge. This is technically called epistemology, the method of knowledge, the science of knowledge. So, you know, many people must have read this famous book of John Sarno, Dr. Sarno. He has written a book, Healing Back Pain. You know, there one thing he says, that it is a knowledge therapy. The patient knows his or her own problem and it cures the patient. This is called knowledge therapy. And here also, we know in Vedanta, particularly Advaita Vedanta, it is a knowledge therapy. As we know ourselves, it cures us. So I will try to do some more exercises on what he has said at the end of towards the end of his presentation. I will just try to explain it in a different way, but both are equally right. You know, non-dual Vedanta has three approaches to the reality. They are known as Vimba Pratibimba Vada, then Avacheda Vada, and another one is called, what is that? Abhasavada. So these are the three ways to look at the same reality. These are the three philosophies. They are one and the same, but their approaches are a little bit different. So I will try to give one example from this Vimba Pratibimba Vada, means the object and its reflection, as you was also referring to that, the knower and the known. Vimba Pratibimba Vada. Now, knowledge. How do we know? Suppose it is a very nice moonlit night and I come out and see that there is a tree and it has a shadow. I can see the tree. Now there are a few conditions which have to be fulfilled to see the tree and also to see that tree having a shadow. What is the condition? First condition is that there will be the moon shining. Second condition should be that there would be no object obstructing the light of the moon falling on the tree. Then knowing is possible. So obstruction should be removed. Nivritta pratibandhaka. Pratibandhaka means obstructions. There should be no obstruction in the way. So the light will fall on the tree. Then we know the tree. Knowledge is possible with the help of light. Now, suppose I look at the moon. So moon is the cause of this knowledge. Cause. We are trying to find out the cause. And he has said that the one cause is responsible for all these effects. Now, this is a little bit subtle but very interesting. So, now we know that there are two causes. One is a material cause, another is an efficient cause. Material matter and efficient the consciousness. Suppose the potter makes a pot. So he collects some clay and out of the clay he makes the pot. He does not make a pot out of himself. This is our experience. So now the cause is the moon. So moon is the cause of this revelation of this tree so that I get this knowledge. Now ask a question. Is this light the natural light of the moon? We know science now, therefore it is very easy to understand. No, it is a reflected light. Light of sun reflected on the moon and then falling on the tree and creating this knowledge. This happens with our everyday experience. That is what I am trying to relate to this idea of our level of consciousness. Sometimes people who read Vedanta, they think that they have understood what the self is. Rather, the problem is they have understood more about their ego. Not in a good way. More and more covered ego. So the other day we were discussing that the more the senses, more handicapped we are. That is the idea in the scriptures. I will give you a very, very clear example. If I have eyes, then I look at you, my first experience of you will be dependent on your feature, which may mislead. That is why in today's world people do nice packaging. Inferior things inside, but outside nice packaging. I will be misled. So these eyes are not a help, but they are handicaps. And if I close my eyes, what happens? I don't look at so many definitions about you, your feature. I go straight into your heart. What way you are behaving with me? Look at this simple fact, because we have a devotee who is blind who comes to our center. And from his experience I know how happy he is. He accepts the compassions, he accepts the considerations of people who are talking to him at the value, at the level of the heart, because he cannot see how they look, whether they are old or young, beautiful, handsome or anything. The eyes, if we have eyes, we have more handicaps. That is what is said in the Upanishad. Paranchi khani vyatrinat swambhu. The self-created law. Here we see that we are making the moon cause of our knowledge. But as we look at the moon, we know that this is a reflection of the sunlight. This light is not its own light. So if we take the moon for the cause of this knowledge, then we are mistaken. We are pampering our ego. This moon is a representative of the ego. So, how many things do we need here? The object moon and sunlight. These two things are necessary for the knowledge of the tree. Moon should be there, otherwise sun cannot reflect on anybody else. So it is reflecting on the moon, and the moonlight is revealing the tree. This is the first part of our knowledge. Now, if I want to know the source, suppose I want to see the sun. Now I can see the moon because sun's light is reflected on the moon. Therefore I can know the source that way. But now if I want to know the source of this light which is reflecting on the sun, what happens? What do I need? Do I need a moon? I don't need the moon. Only light is necessary. Do I put on a torch on the sun to see it? No. Nothing is necessary. This knowledge itself reveals the sun. Reveals the sun. So you don't need two things, object and the light. Here only light is the help, and light means that is consciousness. So mathematically speaking, if we write it like this, X is the representative of this self, consciousness. And Y, suppose, is the representative of these varieties. Why do we see differences? These varieties, Maya, as he has termed it. So, Maya is Y. Maya has a value which is known as 0. 0, everyone says that. Adhavante chayan nasti vartamane pita tatha. Whatever does not exist in the beginning will not exist at the end, is also non-existence at this moment. If this world has come out of nothingness and will resolve into nothingness, then what is it now? The beginning, the value is 0, end value is 0. What is the value of this now? Big 0. Big 0. That is science. So, whatever does not exist in the beginning and will not exist at the end is non-existent at this moment. So, here suppose Y has a 0 value, because this is the relative world. You see, there is a problem in understanding the word Maya. People think the Maya is nothingness, illusion. Actually, that is not the meaning of Maya. The meaning of Maya is relativity. Relativity. In spite of knowing the fact, we may see something different. We see that every day the sun is rising and setting, so we attribute this movement in the sun. But it is not true. The sun is not moving. The earth is moving. In spite of our scientific knowledge that the earth is moving and sun is static, Still we see that the sun is rising and setting, and in Europe we have summertime and wintertime adjustments according to that, in spite of the fact that we know the science. If it can be experienced by us, in spite of our knowledge of the truth, Maya also can be experienced, but bound by this zero both sides. It was not there before it started, it will not be there after it ends. Therefore, Maya is a zero at both extreme ends, not now. Now it has its validity, it has its practicality. So, suppose y is Maya, x plus y minus y equal to what? X plus y minus y equal to x. X plus 0 minus 0 equal to x. Now I keep this, I remove this y, I keep this 0. Now x plus 0 minus x equal to what? No. This is non-dual Vedanta. X plus 0 minus x equal to x. This is oneness. Thank you very much.